The coach probably won't have to say much at the end of this second period. To Killorn.
Killorn's been great creating chances for his teammates. He has 2 assists already.
Anaheim starting back in the defensive zone. And still with it in their own end. Dropped on back further. And the puck is grabbed in his own end by PK Subban. We've played 2 periods here of a 3-period game. The best part of the day is coming up. We are underway here in the 3rd period. Anything can happen, but it's a tall order ahead for one team. Puck is seized by Crosby. Moving it now through the neutral zone. Carried to the corner by Crosby. And he drops back to get things set again. Will turn back into his own end and look over his options. Retreats into the defensive zone. Possession with him between the blue lines. Taken to the corner by Sidney Crosby. And he regroups. Has gone back into his own end. Decides to go back to his own end to try and get out. Puck is thrown to Daniel Sedin. Heads to the front. Decides to give up some space in order to get some back. Wants to get something regenerated, but from his own end of the ice. Head up as he carries it in the defensive zone. Along the board still with possession. Cruises to the slot. And he retreats back with the puck. Can't seem to find a play there, so he'll go back and reset. Moving well with it in their own end. And he continues with it up the wing. Forcing attention in deep. Decides the better of attacking, and so he'll just drop back. He's turned back now to the defensive zone. Keeps it going in neutral ice. Carried to the corner by Daniel Sedin. And he regroups. Thinking maybe his goalie's got a better idea. Closer to him now. Still has it in his own end. Looking to Tarasenko. Anaheim's carrying it along the side. Heads on to the corner. Decides to go back and see if his goalie's got any better ideas. The Ducks have it in their own end. Possession still through the neutral zone. Moves to the corner. Goes back a little further. Turning on back just like they did in practice. This is a game. He goes back into his own end. And he carries it through center. On through the corner. A return back. Looking for some help back in his own end. Keeps it going in their own end. Trying to go to Stamkos. Forcing attention in deep. Curls on back and readies an attack. Anaheim's in their own end, continuing on. Wheels it on behind his own net and looks. Still has control in the defensive zone. Possession still at center ice. Keeps it going back behind the net. Took a quick look. Saw enough that he wants to retreat. He retreats now, getting back to his own end. He'll continue through center. Heads on to the corner. And goes back a little further, hoping to gain ground. Hoping for better things if he turns back. Drops on back behind his own net. He drops on back further. What do you think he's thinking? Making headway through center ice. To Tarasenko.
Tarasenko's team's got a huge lead. He's got 2 of their goals.
Moves to the corner. And decides to play it the other way. Hoping to recoil back in his own end. Out of their own end, hanging on to it. Moving well with it between the blue lines. On through the corner.
Does a pivot and heads back, at least for now.
Turns around back in his own end to try and get something better. The Ducks wheel it up the wing.
It's a 3-on-2. How will they defend this? He's going to skate it on back now.
He's in his own end of the ice now. And what's up? Moving it now in the defensive zone. And along the wing, he still has it.
Forcing attention in deep.
Decides to skate it back toward his own end. Decides to go back into his own end to get something started. Goes back into his own end of the ice to see how things are developing. Snapping a pass to Buckman.
Good hustle, won the race, beat the icing. Oh, did he ever get mashed?
Whoa, pick yourself up off the route one. That is a big hit.
And he will go back with this one.
Anaheim's in their own end and has possession. Dropped on back further. With possession up the boards.
Carried to the corner by Steven Stamkos. And he goes into semi-Beauregard's retreat. Remember the Civil War? No?
Will turn back into his own end and look over his options. Still on the move up the boards.
Saucered to Carlson. Right in front. Circles on back with it.
Anaheim's recoiling back in their own end. Skating with it now in the defensive zone. Along the boards, pressing on with it.
Heads on to the corner. Took a look, didn't like what he saw, so he will circle back.
Retreats into the defensive zone.
Looks ahead to start something.
Still on the move through center.
On through the corner.
And drops on back and waits for help. Has gone back into his own end. Decides to go back to his own end to try and get out. Moving it on up the wing. Pass attempt to Subban. Directing that one to Simmons. Anaheim's in their own end and in control of the puck.
He's going to the net. He retreats back with the puck.
Wants to get something regenerated, but from his own end of the ice. Can't seem to find a play there, so he'll go back and reset.
Passing one off now to Tarasenko. Moves to the corner.
Hoping to gain ground by giving up some now. He's turned back now to the defensive zone. He'll move on in his own end. Skating with it now through neutral ice.
Forcing attention in deep. And this is his drop back. He's going back to get organized.
Thinking maybe his goalie's got a better idea. Closer to him now. And now it's directed to Stamkos.
Heads on to the corner.
He recoils back and hopes for better. Turning on back just like they did in practice. This is a game keeping it going now out of their own end. Through the neutral zone, skating with it now.
Carried to the corner boards by Stamkos. And he skates it back to regroup.
He goes back into his own end. Pushing it on out of their own end. Up the wing, he continues possession.
It's a 3-on-2 as they move in. It doesn't take long to see if there's an opening. He decided there wasn't one, so back he goes.
Looking for some help back in his own end.
Karen pass to Kessler.
And he continues with it at center ice.
Forcing the goalie to crane left and then right.
Decides to drop back a bit and look it over. He retreats now, getting back to his own end. He goes back now behind his own net, and he keeps it going in the defensive zone. Hanging on to it up the boards.
Heads to the front.
And he retreats back from center ice, hoping for better things if he turns back. Trying to generate something from behind his own net. Out of their own end, skating with it now. Trying the probe up the wing.
On through the corner.
And he regroups. He drops on back further. What do you think he's thinking? Hoping to recoil back in his own end. Pitching it to Henrik Sedin. And the puck in the neutral zone grabbed by Boyle.
Right into the slot. Booted aside.
Pitching this one to Stewart. Moving it now in center ice.
Moves to the corner.
Decides to curl back a little further. Turns around back in his own end to try and get something better. Will hope a breakout occurs from behind the net. And he continues through the neutral zone.
Forcing attention in deep.
Hoping to get some back by dropping back. He's in his own end of the ice now. And what's up? In the defensive zone, pressing on. Still has control at center.
Heads on to the corner.
Back near the blue line, Devotnin. Decides to go back into his own end to get something started. Goes back into his own end of the ice to see how things are developed. Moving it to Carlson.
Oh, and here's a 3-on-2. Taken to the corner by Carlson.
And the puck is grabbed by Callahan. To Palat.
Palat's looking to add to his 2-assist game. Great save.
The Ducks lug that along up the wing. Carried to the corner by Crosby. And he drops on back and gets some help. Dropped on back further. And he maintains possession out of his own end. Up the wing, making some headway.
On through the corner. Skated on back.
Will turn back into his own end and look over his options. Waiting behind his own goal to start it out, just like in practice.
Picks it up in his own end.
Pressing on with it out of their own end. The Ducks in possession as they travel through center ice.
That play went offside.